In this video, we will talk about how to find the inverse of a function. So let's say we have the function f of x equals 5x minus 4. How can we find the inverse of this function? Well, the first step is let's rewrite it as y equals 5x minus 4. That's a little nicer to look at. Okay, the first step to finding the inverse is we need to flip the x and the y. So instead of y equals 5x minus 4, let's write it as x equals 5y minus 4. So we just flip the x and the y, and now we solve for y. So how can we get y all by itself? Well, we can add a 4 to each side to start with. So we'll get x plus 4 is equal to 5y. Now, how can we get y all by itself? Well, we would need to divide by 5. Divide by 5. So that cancels out these 5's on this side. We're left with y is equal to x plus 4 over 5. So that is the inverse of the original equation. So we can write as our final answer, f inverse x is equal to x plus 4 over 5. That is the inverse of our original equation. Let's check out another example. Let's say we have f of x is equal to x cubed plus 7. How can we find the inverse of this? Well, let's rewrite it as y equals x cubed plus 7. And then remember, the first step is we want to flip the x's and the y's. So we'll write x is equal to y cubed plus 7. And we need to solve for y. So how can we get y by itself? Well, we can subtract a 7 from each side. So that gives us x minus 7 is equal to y cubed. Now how can we get y all by itself? Well, we need to take the cube root of each side to get rid of that y to the third. So we would be left with y on this side. And over here we've got x minus 7, the cube root. So that's our answer. So we can write f inverse of x is the cube root of x minus 7. That is our final answer. All right, let's try another one. Let's say we have f of x is equal to the square root of x plus 4 minus 6. To find the inverse, let's rewrite it as y equals square root of x plus 4 minus 6. And then we need to flip the x's and the y's. So let's write x is equal to square root of y plus 4 minus 6. And now we need to solve for y. So to start, we could just add a 6 to each side. Plus 6 plus 6. So x plus 6 is equal to the square root of y plus 4. Okay, so to get rid of this square root on this side, we can square this entire right side. We can square this entire left side. So we'll be left with x plus 6 squared is equal to y plus 4. So when we square a square root, it just leaves us with whatever was inside of that square root. Okay, the last step to get this y all by itself is to subtract a 4 from each side. So we're left with x plus 6 squared minus 4 is equal to y. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify that left-hand side. So let's say x plus 6 squared, we can rewrite that as x plus 6 times x plus 6. And then we've still got that minus 4 is equal to y. So let's FOIL these two parentheses. Let's say x times x is x squared. X times 6, that's 6x. 6 times x, that's also 6x. And then 6 times 6, that is 36. And then we still have this minus 4 right here. It's equal to y. Okay, let's combine like terms. We have x squared. Here's a 6x and another 6x. That's 12x. And then we've got 36 minus 4. That's positive 32. Plus 32 is equal to y. And that is our final answer. So we'll write f inverse of x is equal to x squared plus 12x plus 32. All right, let's check out another example. Let's say we have f of x equals 3 over x minus 5. So to find the inverse of this equation, we'll first write y is equal to 3 over x minus 5. And then we can switch the x and the y. So let's write x is equal to 3 over y minus 5. And now we need to solve for y. So to get y out of the denominator here, we can multiply both sides by y minus 5. So let's write x times y minus 5 is equal to, and over here if we multiply by y minus 5, the numerator and the denominator would cancel out and we'd be left with a 3. Alright, so to solve for y, let's divide both sides by x. We'll get this x out of here on this left side, so we're left with y minus 5 is equal to 3 over x. And then to get y by itself, we just need to add a 5 to each side, plus 5. So y is 3 over x plus 5. And that's our final answer. So we'll write it in proper notation. We'll say the inverse of f of x is equal to 3 over x plus 5. That is our final answer.